Go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the power. Screw green bean. Damn it. But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something. Go Jets.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk duns, boys and girls.
Freeze run.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Whoops. Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my lovely co-pilots. I got Mr. Green Bean to my this way. I got Mr. Matt O'Leary, newly married to my that way. Matt, show off that bling.
Oh, not as nice as Taylor's, but there you go. Boom.
Nice.
Love it, love it. Congratulations, Matt. We had a great time at the wedding. We got a picture and a video we're going to show in a little bit. But boys and girls, thank you so much for joining in. Please hit that like button as you come on in here. Bean, how you doing tonight?
Well, I got to figure out my lights, it seems. I forgot to turn them on. I'm good. I'm happy that we were able to get up there for the O'Leary wedding. I wasn't able to do the live stream. We'll talk all about that kind of stuff. But I'm tired tonight, but I'm feeling good. So we'll get a more subdued version, maybe. Who knows what some butthole in the chat says and gets me fired up. But I'm filled with gratitude for the O'Learys, and that's kind of out front tonight.
O'Leary, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Just coming off what was an incredible weekend for me and my family. And the fact that you guys were there, both Ryan, Green Bean, Jake Asman, even Richie and Jets Chaos too. We throw them in. And to everyone who sent, I can't even tell you how many people reached out and just sent like a message or a DM in our Jets world. And that meant the absolute world to me and Taylor. We spent most of Sunday kind of just scrolling through everyone's messages and all the pictures and stuff. And it was awesome. So just wanted to say thank you to both of you guys for coming up. It meant so much. And to everyone in the chat and who sent me a message, it's very, very appreciated.
Boom, check out this star-studded cast. Bam. I can't tell you how many people like reached out and was like, damn, Matt's tall. Like, no wonder he's it's like probably, other than congratulations, I think that was probably the most common comment I saw on this. Absolutely great time. The DJ they had just absolutely crushed it the entire time. We were wiggling and jiggling like the entire night. Here, the kids
I was going to say, I don't know if you guys know here in the chat, but Ryan absolutely can eat a dance floor. He was out there all night long. It was awesome.
I had to try to keep pace with you and Taylor because you guys were crushing it the entire night. And then we got to a point where there was like a little bit, I don't want to say a lull, but people were like cheering on different things. And then our table got a chance to do something fun. And you see Matt all the way in the back, just like, let's go.
I'm in the background going nuts. You can barely see me, but I'm there.
It's easier to see on the bigger video.
What was that though? But what was going on? Like there was a lot of cheering and shit. We just said, all right, we're jumping in. Like they were doing something. We didn't know what it was. We said, well, we're doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of, this is just what happens at an O'Leary wedding. My dad's one of 9, Irish Catholic family. We have just guilt instilled into us and drinking issues sometimes, but no, at weddings, we like to, not necessarily me, but it's kind of a bit that you see which table can get the loudest, and it kind of just goes and goes and goes. And then you guys chimed in with the Jets chant, which was personally my favorite. I like that one the best.
Felt good.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, your apps for cocktail hour were slamming.
Oh, dude. I know. We talked about the mashed potato bar,
by the way,
which was great. But the other ones were great too, dude. There was a lot going on. The Pete Luger sauce on the steak.
the best part of maybe the entire wedding. So we knew we wanted to spend most of the night like out on the dance floor having fun, and we did. It was awesome. But we wanted to say our hellos and say hi to everyone during the cocktail hour. And there was 185 people there. It was a big crowd. So we made our rounds. But what our maitre d' did for us was like towards the end, he pulled us into the room and gave us like a last look, make sure everything looked okay in the ballroom. And then he took us upstairs and had 2 of everything from the cocktail hour waiting for us. Man. So we ate in like a span of 5 minutes or 10 minutes waiting to, go down and do our big entrance into the party. We housed the short rib, I had 2 of the mashed potato bar things. There was so much stuff there. It was just incredible.
So of all the cocktail hour food, it was absolutely incredible. But let's take a look at what our good pal Jeremy decided to grab. Let's see if I can, I'll switch over to the other screen so you get a bigger picture here.
Oh, there
He's got a plate of saltine crackers and cheese. Of every there was like all this like awesome pasta and mashed potato bar and meats and everything, and he goes with the saltine crackers. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah. Well, and he really very vocally defended the choice as well. He said people don't properly respect the cheese and cracker table, and he said, and it's here, number 1. So it was part of the choice. So there's that. So, okay, so it is, let's not forget. If it wasn't great, it wouldn't be here. Number 2, all you guys waiting 15 minutes on one line or the other. I walked right up to the cheese table, took whatever I wanted, sat down, which, by the way, my first plate was the cheese table. Just you didn't catch me doing that. But
I feel like we missed an opportunity
like,
to say charcuterie board.
He was.
We screwed up on that.
Carcucci. That guy he's a coach now, isn't he? Where's he coaching?
Where is he?
God, me.
He's Dallas, I think. He's coaching Quinnen, I think.
Oh, boy.
What was his name again? Smart. Oh, Smart. Jesus.
Yeah. Tanzel Smart.
Let me see where he is.
Back when we thought we were going to be good.
Good jet.
It's okay. Boys and girls, please make sure you hit that like button as you come in here. We're going to give away a shirt, hat, mug, jersey, something at the end of this stream. And if you're popping in after the fact and you're listening to this after we've aired, leave a timestamp comment down below and we'll get you qualified for next week's giveaway. Someone, James, from this past week, won a Dick Burger shirt. I don't have that pulled up right now, but he won a Dick Burger shirt, and I realized his email doesn't have his last name, and he didn't send his last name, so the address is titled James Dick Burger. So the mail guy's gonna get this and be like, "What is this guy's name?"
Dick Burger.
I had fun with that. At least I enjoyed that. All right, so we got a game that happened. Jets lost 10-23, but overall, I thought it was a pretty entertaining game. It was nice seeing Tyrod Taylor back there. Felt like the offense moved much better than it had. Tyrod Taylor, 17-28, 222 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He took 3 sacks. Breece Hall was really the story that kept us competitive throughout this game. Had about 120 some odd yards, and unfortunately had the fumble inside the 5. Fortunately or unfortunately, I guess depending on how you want to look at it. Jets definitely lost the game on that fumble, so you could be upset that we lost the game. Or if you're on the tank crew, maybe you're happy it kind of went that direction. But man, it was really, really nice to see Breece go off like that. And watching Metchie and Mitchell still having some success. Really nice to see Metchie having the most success of his NFL career with the New York Jets currently. So very, very excited to see how he grows from that. But let's go around our panel. Let's give our thoughts on the game overall. Matt, what were your thoughts, biggest takeaways from this past week's game?
Yeah, in true sicko fashion, I got home at 12:45 just in time for kickoff to live tweet for a 2-8 football team after getting married. But what I thought was the defense played pretty strong in the first half. I was impressed that they went into halftime with a lead, right? It was 7-3, low scoring game. But I thought, the defense was flying around making some plays, which I like to see. But I'm glad that you called out John Metchie, and that's one of the names that I wanted to bring up tonight because I think he has hit the ground running with the Jets. I mean, touchdowns in back-to-back games for him. Looks like their number one receiver right now with Garrett Wilson out, and I'm totally on board with him and A.D. Mitchell getting as many targets as possible over their final 6 games here. But plus, yeah, and on top of that, I feel like with his story, he's such an easy guy to root for and want to see succeed with everything that he's overcome in his career. And to see him come into the Jets and have this, immediate success is really nice. And it's something that I'm hoping continues over the final 6 games because it makes your life significantly easier in the offseason if hey, maybe you still need a number 2 receiver, but John Metchie and A.D. Mitchell, they're fine as our 3 and 4 receivers. And that's, one less thing we have to worry about going into either the draft or free agency.
I absolutely love that we could have captured a little bit of a diamond in the rough with these 2 receivers that were basically just throw-ins to trades we were already making. So just great moves by Muji. Bean, your thoughts on the overall game?
Well, I will say I had all kinds of plans on Sunday. They just kept changing. By the way, one of those plans was to watch my goddaughter in Staten Island play in her Super Bowl. So that day, she actually got Super Bowl MVP with numerous touchdown receptions.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But we woke up at 6:30 and it was the game's at 11. And then the Jets game, and we looked at it, and it's I'm going to get back to Virginia at 11:30 p.m. And it was just before work. It was we were dreading it, so we just jumped in the car and took off. So instead, I was fuck this. So I listened to the game. I was actually in Baltimore about 20 minutes before the game, so I could see this. I was looking in the stadium because you could see it from the highway and everything. So I got to watch the game on the way home, and just like you're saying, it's such a shame, the Breece Hall thing, because it really was a game. And I just look, we talk about the team fighting, and people say, oh, every year we talk about the team fighting. I'm gonna let anybody think and feel how they want to feel, right? This year, I'm just not gonna argue. Tank, not tank. Be mad, hate Aaron Glenn. I'm just whatever. But for me, this whole effort thing is very, very different than what we were doing in years past. This year is very much like a tear down, and we ripped Aaron Glenn for the first quarter. That's 5-6 weeks of the season, give or take. And you're watching things like the penalties. We're the most penalized team over the last bunch of years, numerous years in a row. And we're watching that go down, and we're watching them, bench guys and uproot guys and cut guys and trade guys. And the team is vastly, it's really kind of consumed with a bunch of guys that we're looking at, that we're able to really watch and see if they're going to be a part of this. And this happened. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. The Sauce and Quinnen and Michael Carter trades. The quietest part about that was the player pieces to those to those trades. And quite literally, we could be going into next year, into this offseason and next year, and this coming draft without the needs at wide receiver we thought we had. And if you bring one on, what just happened? My lights just turned blue. Whoops. So and it's really exciting because if John Metchie and A.D. Mitchell, both of whom were highly regarded coming into the NFL, if we haven't had that quarterback resurgence, you see these reclamation projects, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and all that kind of thing. But if we can get 2 wide receivers that end up being, wide receiver 2-3, wide receiver 3-4, whatever it might be going into the draft, it's a really, really bang up job by the Jets during the season to prepare for next year. I mean, what's better? Waiting till the end of the year, drafting some guys and having training camp, or getting a full, like, not full, but like a half a season to truly evaluate these guys. And I like that they cut that they benched Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor, because look, anybody saying, oh, it's not Justin Fields' fault, dude, Tyrod Taylor, who's not a world beater, just threw for 222. Justin Fields was throwing for 52 yards, including a 42 fucking yard, or 54 yards, including a 42 yard screen pass just 2 weeks ago, bro. You know what I mean? So you just can't deny it. So at least we get to look at these guys and we can see if a John Metchie or an A.D. Mitchell, or maybe even Arian Smith, who got into the mix a little bit, can start to pick up his reps. So I'm finding a way to be excited. But can I just say this once? The ride, it was a 4, it started at 1. The game ended at 4, like 10 minutes before I got home. I was playing there. It was the Jets playing my wife's team, the Ravens. And I'm going to tell you guys this. My wife arrived to this relationship as a Ravens fan. She's from Baltimore and she roots for the Ravens. When John Metchie scored the touchdown, she's driving at this point and she went, yeah. I went, you're a fucking Jets fan.
Let's go.
You're a Jets fan. And she's like, how could I not be at this point? You know what I mean? She's like, I root for the Ravens, but she's like, yeah, man, I guess when the Jets and Ravens are head to head, the Jets, like I say that all the time. Like when I'm watching a game, I find out who I'm rooting for during the game. I don't know. I think I'm going to, but I just find myself going, yeah, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's the team I'm rooting for, But anyway, so that was cool. But I'm going to say this. The game was boring for me. The entire first half, I felt like it was 9 hours long. The second half, a little bit better for me. That first half, 7-3, I just felt like it was a punt fest. And as I like our punter a whole bunch. Still don't want to see him as much as we did. So that's just me. The drive probably had some impact. It's tough watching a game on the road, guys. So anyway, there it is.
Yeah, I think my biggest criticism, like I don't even really blame Brees for the fumble. Like when you get hung up the way he did, and guys are just fucking wailing on you and yanking at the ball, like it is hard as shit to hold on to that. And obviously he's fighting for the extra yardage. He's trying to do as much as he can. And
he was carrying the team.
He is. He really is. He's the whole offense at this point. And like that part sucked. I didn't love the going for it on 4th down from Glenn. I think he's still making some questionable decisions. Yeah. Like I really would love to feel a little more comfortable with Glenn as head coach. I do like that the penalties are down.
I didn't mind it though. I'm gonna give you a little pushback on that one. Analytics say go for it in that spot.
Yep. All right. Analytic. What was it, Matt? 52% to 48% or some shit. It was close.
It was small. It was marginal, right? And I had a few people in my comments saying that they, disagreeing with me, saying that they didn't like it and that McNamara was punting well and you pin him inside. And I totally hear that. My thought process was you're a 13-point road dog and you're 2-8. Like go down swinging in that spot if it's close.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I can understand that. I just thought the defense really was like playing well at that point, and to pin a team deep would I don't know. I could see where the percentages might be pretty close to 50-50 on that.
Now, remember a couple weeks ago, Ryan, he went on a 4th and 5. That I was like, all right, buddy.
This was 2.
Look,
right?
and I know why do you go for it on 4th? You're trying to tell your offense, I got you. I believe in you. Like he's trying to do that. So he's got a new quarterback. You got the young wide receivers. Brees is playing well. Isaiah Davis is hopskiddly doing, he's always so full of energy. He's fucking so happy. And he's trying to say, guys, he's trying to instill something. And again, when you look at the analytics, I think a perfect word Matt just used. It's marginal, but it was in favor of going for it. Now, you can look at your team and go, well, we've punted 4 times in a row. Maybe we're not, we're not going to get it. You know, the analytics NFL wide might not be the Jets. And we talk about all the time, when you're drafting, when you're trading, when you're building a team, you factor in that we're the Jets, please. You know? So when you're looking at analytics, maybe consider this the Jets. We're not the fucking Niners. Can we do that? But anyway, I was with it too. Matt said it again perfectly. Dude, we're 2-8. Fucking I mean, I would go, how about this? We don't punt anymore. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? If he did that and just said, guys, imagine Aaron Glenn came out in a presser and said, guys, we're 2-8. Get a grip. I'm looking at shit. You know?
See, that's a rational thing. Like, I guess I can, like, appreciate that. I guess I didn't realize how close the analytics would have been at that point. But if he came out and said, like, yeah, we're just going for it on 4th down, it feels very similar to, like, Rex when he went against us back in 2015 and we were trying to, like hell to get into the playoffs, and the Bills were, like, terrible that year. They're like, we're just going to go for it every time. We're just going to try and screw over the Jets. Like, every 4th down. Like, I guess I could respect that.
Yeah. I know, but you know, that said, when he did it, it was like I was split. Like, I was kind of back and forth. And when I'll tell you what, it's one of these things. If we got it, brilliant. When he fails, you're like, you're a loser. You know what I mean? So if you're already leaning Aaron Glenn sucks, then this was more fuel for your fire. And that's just is what it is. And of course, and I think he knows that at this point going into it. He just doesn't give two shits. And I got to tell you, I respect that because I do see results smattered around the team. I see Sherwood and Quincy Williams playing better. I see the interior of the defensive line playing better. I see the run defense stiffening. I see just a cast of no-names playing Jamar Chase and T. Higgins well. And during the Ravens game. Yeah, Lamar Jackson wasn't 100%. And you can see it. Anybody saying otherwise is drunk. I mean, you could see that he wasn't that on-fire Lamar Jackson that we've seen so many times. But that said, dude, you play the guy you play. You know, he's still fucking Lamar Jackson. So it's like one of those things where, and again, you know, the penalties are down. Like, dude, they've completely, the team we started with, it's not even the same team at this point.
Yeah.
The fact that we're playing better without Sauce and Quinnen is, like, very impressive. And I think we had 6 penalties on the day, and one of those was, like, an intentional delay of game. So, like, really just 5 penalties that were, you know, oopses, if you will.
What does that tell you? Like, so that's the thing. So, and just to complete my point, like, I get it. If you're anti-AG, like Mike Greenberg did that whole thing this week, then this is more fuel for it. But if you take a step back and you're objective or lean in AG, you get this kind of a decision, the 4th and 2, I mean. It's just like, because you can see the areas that are improving, and they're very important areas, and you have a cast of no-name. You got A.Z. Thomas and Malachi Moore and all these guys, Metchie and 80 million, Azariah Smith and all these guys out there, and they're competing, dude, every week. You know, they're competing better than we did against Buffalo and Dallas, quite frankly.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, earlier in the season. So,
and you just reminded me of another. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I'm sorry. Go on, Ryan.
No. I was just going to say, like, you reminded me of another penalty, too. We got the penalty on A.Z. Thomas where he just got, like, mugged, got his face mask pulled down, and they called a holding on him. I was like, shit. So we really only had, like, what I feel like probably should have been 4 penalties.
Dude, the Jets getting 4 penalties in a game is like, it's reminiscent of when we cheered our faces off when we got our first roughing the passer in fucking 2 years. Remember that?
It was like that was one of the funnier moments we've had together.
Yeah, we're the best. And that's what it is. It's like, you want to talk about squeezing lemons in the lemonade, dude. You know what I mean? Like, we know how to do it.
Oh, boys and girls. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in here. Every 10 likes we get on this, we're going to pick a qualifier for our giveaway. We got Blitz Crew in the chat. Actually, Blitz Crew, I'm going to go back to you in 1 second. Alan joins the OnlyFans. Alan! Thanks so much, Alan. We got Blitz Crew in the chat. Says, thoughts on each rookie so far and what we're hoping for them in the last few games. Need to figure out how to change my name here. Milk Thumbs. Yeah, I don't know why it's coming up as.
Oh, Zubnip is Blitz Crew?
Yes.
Oh, that's
yeah, YouTube did that. No, yeah, that's YouTube, man.
In fact, they were playing better without Sauce and Quick.
What the hell was that?
Sorry, that was me. I was trying to, my stream was behind. I meant to hit live and I hit unmute.
Well, the only reason that freaked me out is because that's usually me that does that. So I was like, oh my God. I'm a weekly with one of those.
That's all right. So as far as what he's saying is each rookie so far. So obviously Membu's been a stud. I like what we've gotten out of Mason Taylor so far. I think his impact has been hampered a little bit because of the quarterback play. AZ Thomas, I think we're going to continue to see growth from. I've liked what we've seen so far out of him. Arian Smith, we really haven't seen a whole heck of a lot. Did he have one run? Was it a run or
he had a run. It was like an 8-yard run. Yeah.
So really not a whole crazy ton from him yet. I thought 𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐽 has been really good at linebacker. I'll be honest, I haven't been keying in on Moore. What are your guys' thoughts on the rookie class so far? Malachi Moore, the safety.
Yeah, for me, kind of just going through each one. Membu has been everything you could have asked and more out of rookie tackle. He's been just flat out unbelievable. Mason Taylor, I know the production doesn't look crazy, right? 297 yards in 11 games, but that's roughly like a 450-yard pace. And for a rookie tight end, I know we get enamored by some of like the big numbers that we saw from Brock Bowers a couple years ago, and Tyler Warren's pacing out for a big year. But like if he settles in like 450 in year one, and if he settles into a guy who's giving you 600 to 800 every year, that's an upgrade over what you had. It just flat out is, and you have to factor in the quarterback play that he's played with too. So I think he's been fine. Beyond that, I think Malachi Moore has been okay. There's some tackling issues. I feel like he bounces off of guys a little bit at times, but I like the physicality that he plays with. Thomas, I think, has looked like he belongs. I don't think he looks out of place, which for a third-round pick starting at corner, that's not an easy thing to do. I think I'm optimistic about him being a starter next year. After that, like Tyler Barron's getting a healthy scratch. That one doesn't look good. Arian Smith has kind of been surpassed by guys like John Metchie and Adonai Mitchell. So probably not a great sign for him. But if you go into next year with him as like your fifth receiver, I think you feel okay about him as a wide receiver 5. And who else? Oh, 𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐽. There were a couple games where I thought he looked solid. I think he could be good against the run. I don't really like him in pass coverage, though.
Bean, what about you? What are your thoughts on the rookies so far?
Well, I want to find something. There was a little stat that came out last week that Malachi Moore is he's like among the top 5 safeties in the past like 5 weeks or some shit like that. I got to try to find it. I'm not gonna. I'll find it because I know where I saw it. I gotta find it. But yeah. So starting at the top, Membu's a badass. I'd love to see him make the Pro Bowl this year. Just because I'm an accolades guy, because I come from an era where the New York Jets were routinely overlooked, right? It was before the internet and before we can vote on Pepsi Players of the Week and all this shit and have our voices heard. We just sat in our dens in Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey, screaming at clouds. That's what we did. We had nothing. We could call it. It's how Joe Beningo became Joe Beningo. Like, that's it. You can call WFAN and bitch. And that's what, I don't know if you guys remember that, but I remember when Joe Beningo was just a caller. He was Joe from Brooklyn, and he would just call every week, and blah, 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 and they gave him a show. And it was like crazy because everybody loved him. But yeah, so like Kyle Clifton, Mo Lewis, all these guys that were just overlooked for you. 𝐒𝐿𝐞𝐞, right? We just saw that come to fruition. Gastineau's finally getting a look at the Hall. All this kind of stuff. So like when players like the Jets have a good guy and he gets a Pro Bowl or an All Pro, like it just hits me in a little bit different than maybe it should, or a little bit more than maybe it should. So I'd like to see that. Membu's a badass. I'm really high on Mason Taylor. I think he's doing everything and anything asked of him. You know, like he's just like when you say, "Hey man, he's got 2 receptions in the last fucking 4 weeks." It's like, yeah, but so do the wide receivers. I mean, like they can only do what the quarterback allows them to do. He had a couple flubs. I think he's got a couple drops. But anyway, I think that once the offense is settled, and I do believe once, you know, hopefully we get a real quarterback, like somebody that's, you know, maybe a little bit higher pedigree than a Tyrod Taylor in year 15 kind of a thing. I think Mason Taylor will be a very, very solid and reliable outlet for the quarterback. And like Matt said, that I'm looking at like maybe the 800, 900, maybe the higher end of Matt's numbers there. But again, that would be really great, especially if we have a solid wide receiver core and running backs and everything. But I love Mason Taylor. So I think the top 2 picks are slam dunks. AZ Thomas is interesting because I think he's going to take a minute. He was a 3rd-round pick and not a 1st-round pick for a reason, but still a 3rd-round pick. So he's got there's meat on the bone. I like what I see on a lot of plays. And then there are some where I watched a couple of times where he get like the initial move by the wide receiver just smokes him, and he's playing catch up. So he's got some work to do, but I think there's talent there. So that'll be good. I'm glad he's getting these reps. This is really good for a 3rd-round pick, I think. Smith, you know, we said it the day he was overdrafted. And I think he's probably more appropriately suited to be that wide receiver for big play, gadgety kind of, you know, impact guy. I think he can be that for us, but he's not the guy you want to be depending on as your wide receiver too, which is what he was, you know, kind of catapulted into. So I like him. I like him more than I thought I would. He's got some drops, which was the bugaboo, right? That was the rub. So let's see, you know, but I think, and Malachi Moore, I like. Matt nailed it. Matt, I'm liking coming after Matt today, because I can just say fucking like Matt said. Malachi Moore, I think he's improving. The first 2 weeks that he was out there, he was missing tackles all over the place, and he was doing that Jordan Whitehead thing that the safeties of the last 4, 5, 6 years on the Jets, they've all fucking done it. And I hate it, because guys like Lonnie Young, Victor Green, like the safeties that we've had for a long time, they didn't do it, which is they go in for the big pop and there's no attempt at wrapping, and I hate it. You know, Malachi Moore the last couple weeks has improved in that. I've actually seen it. Like he's actually, you know, where the first couple weeks I was like, oh, here we go again, dude, with these safeties. So I think he's another one. Like there's meat on the bone, whether he's our long-term starter or he's just like that solid depth for the next 3-4 years. I think one or the other he'll fill for us. So it's a nice draft. Tyler Barron, 2/5 is, if it wasn't 2/5, it would just be like, yeah, dude, he's a late round swing and he's not going to work. But we don't know if he's not going to work. He's a 5th round rookie. You know what I mean? So let's see. But I gotta say, I like the draft a touch better than I did on day 3 of draft weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. One more thing to add on Mason Taylor too. He had a really nice block on the end around to, was it Arian? It might have been the Arian Smith run. It's either Arian Smith or
if it was this past week, it had to have been. Yeah,
it had to be. Yeah, he had a nice block out front where he kind of took out like 2 guys that allowed Smith to go a little bit further. So even if he's not impacting the reception side of things, there's still an impact of his presence being felt, and that's always nice to see.
And it would be good, Ryan. Right, yeah. Just on that note, Ryan, because that was the thing that, like, his pass catching was not in question.
Yep.
Like we knew he was going to bring that skill set here. The thing was, and why some people didn't like him that high, you know, third round pick was one thing. Second round, when it was clear he was going in the second, it was like his blocking leaves too much to be desired. And the argument that people like myself made who liked him was the pedigree, right? He's Jason Taylor's son. He's, so this is a guy that you can count on working on it. You know what I mean? And so that what you're talking about, seeing that starting to come to fruition in his rookie year, I think is very, very positive, because if he can add that, he's really going to develop into a well-rounded tight end, which is all you really want. You want a tight end that can be an asset on the line, or whatever you need him to do blocking wise, and then also be that relief valve for the quarterback. If he can do both, slam dunk.
Probably would have been an easy first round pick if he could have blocked too. So like getting extra value there. Love it.
There you go.
KPMCD comes in, says, love Badlands' most recent video on the 26th draft. I haven't watched it, but Bain or Reese with the top 5 pick, wide receiver with pick 2, defense offense improves drastically with those 2 picks. Yeah, I don't mind going this direction if this is the direction the Jets end up going. I would lean Reese over Bain just because I don't love the idea of like a 270-pound edge rusher or edge presence in the top 5. I like someone with a little bit more bend, and I would even argue maybe even receiver at the top, like one of those top end guys. I guess I wonder what did they do for quarterback? Does anyone know? Did they have a free agent? Did they go quarterback in the second or anything? Or
I didn't see the video. I'm gonna have to go and check it out. But that would be interesting if they're taking I'm gonna assume they're taking the let's find a bridge quarterback approach.
Yeah.
And if that's the route that the Jets decide to go here, I mean, yeah, finding someone like Bain or Reese on the edge, I think would be huge. And then wide receiver, I like Jordan Tyson a lot. And it depends on if he's there when the Jets are picking, right? Like it depends. Maybe the Giants would just stick and pick and take Tyson to pair with Malik Neighbors for their young quarterback. But I think that would be the player that I personally would target early if you're not going quarterback.
Bean, what about you? What are your thoughts on these 2 types of selections with our first 2 picks, as opposed to maybe going quarterback?
I have no problem with a big, strong edge. Like if you're going to have Will McDonald types for that, like pass rushing specialist, I love an edge that can seal it, like that big, strong, can rush the passer, but you're not like, like Clowney ended up being like Clowney. And like when he was coming into the league, you thought he was like this well-rounded, going to be just a demon pass rusher, but he was also super strong in the running game and sealing the edge. And his pass rushing, it took him like 10 or not 10, but like 8 years to break multiple sacks. And he ended up becoming more of this like really, really good defensive end. And like Jermaine Johnson, you see, he's really strong. Like it's so incredibly valuable, especially on downs 1 and 2, to have that. We see the opposite with Michael Clemens. You can see it. Like he's so bad at it that having somebody who that's actually what they do, I would love it, because we already have Will McDonald, and Will McDonald, I think he gets a little bit too much shade for how he plays the run. I think he's a little bit better than maybe we give him credit for, but still leaves a lot to be desired. So anyway, I have no problem with that. I'm really hoping for a quarterback up top, so I don't like breathing life into these things. I'm very superstitious and stubborn and resentful and ugly and fat and old. So I just I'm not fat anymore. I got to stop saying that. But anywho, I hope that we don't have to do this. Like we don't get a quarterback and we're 2027 and we're going in the season with Gardner Minshew and who I like, but I just don't want to do it. If we do, we do, but I'm like really hoping for that ability to get the quarterback this year. Especially, it's going to be tough, man, because now there's talk of Ty Simpson going back to college, and he's been struggling, and Tony the GM is just making more and more videos about him. So anyway, it's just I would love and I would prefer to see us get our quarterback and then our wide receiver 2 with that second first, or the linebacker. Dude, I got a linebacker for you guys too. I can't wait to get.
I'm excited.
I'm already the kid from Utah, man. Dude, you got to watch him. Dude, he keeps getting accused of spearing and targeting and shit. I love him. Dude. Oh, it's my guy, man.
Lander Barton.
Lander motherfucking Barton, baby.
Oh,
that's my guy. All right. Yeah. Dude, he's just there are others, but for that, like, I keep bringing it up, like, it's time for the Jets to get somebody who instills some fear in the offense. And this is a guy, he is 100 miles per hour, and he's truly sideline to sideline. So anyway, I'd like to see quarterback, wide receiver 2/middle linebacker over everything else. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. So anyway, that's where I am.
Ryan, you got to pull up a picture of Lander Barton's headshot. His neck is just something to
you see it, Matt?
Uphold. You'll know. There's a few different headshots, but just look at the one that's obviously like not him being younger. It's incredible. Well, no. That is when he committed to Utah. No.
Which way? He's gotten hold on, I got one.
Yeah, you'll see the one.
No.
And he looks like
his neck groove. Like, look at the difference. Look at
dude.
This
he
is
looks
absurd.
like, this is what I get from him. I know how to do one thing, Coach.
How did he go from that to this? His neck like tripled in size. He's like the Grinch.
Well, there are two theories. One is a whole bunch of steak. The other is a little. You ever see the movie The Program?
I have not. No.
Oh, you got to watch it, Ryan. It's time. It's the best. It's the best football movie ever. The outside. Remember, the Titans is the best, but the second best is the Program. Anybody who's seen it, drop a fucking fire emoji in there for James Caan and the damn Program. But anyway, yeah, Lander Bart. You got to watch his. Like, just start with his highlights. I've already started digging into this, like some longer form stuff with him. I got to see what Dom thinks of him.
Ooh, let's see. I wonder if he probably hasn't done linebackers yet on his sheet. I haven't even pulled it up yet. I gotta do that.
No, not yet. But Dom is working on it. That's the Bible for us, man. I like how he lays it out. It makes it so much easier, right? Because he goes through and watches tape on all these guys. I kind of like to use it as a guide and then go, okay, these are some players that I think we should be keeping an eye on. Because, quarterback is kind of obvious, but even linebacker, let's say, they're going to probably want a bigger linebacker. So, all right, let's look at the height, the weight, the whole thing, and see who fits that bill. So I'm in. You sold me, Green Bean.
And not to mention, Dom
you got to watch
through a Jets lens, which is really cool. So, like, you're getting some insight into, like, specifically our team, as opposed to, like, I mean, he grades everyone, obviously, but super insightful.
Who, Dom?
Dom, yeah.
Dom's a true badass, man. Like, let me just. Do you guys remember how we found this guy? Do you remember? You were both there that night. It was all three of us together. You remember?
How?
I have no idea.
Found him. I remember when I met Dom for the first time. Is that the night that you're talking about?
No, like when what's that? When did you
at
meet
your 50th birthday party?
Oh, right. Yeah. We met him. Yeah. No, years ago, I was still in the RV. I did a contest on my channel. I forget how I did it, but it was to do a full first round mock. Like, your cousin was in it, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Yes. The poor kid, he just ordered his Jamal Adams jersey. And it arrived like a week after the trade or something.
Yep, that's on. Poor Brandon.
Oh, that was great. But Dom organically won. He was one of the people who won the contest. So he was in that first round mock with us. And he was talking. He was like, you can tell right in that first thing, he was like different. He's like, oh wow, this guy actually knows. Now it just so happens that I grew up with Dom, but he was my youngest sister's age, so I like knew Dom, and we would cross paths at time. But I was like his sister's age, so but I knew Dom my whole life. But but then when he won the contest, and I actually reached out to him, I'm like, dude, do you like do this stuff? He said, bro, this is what I do for fun. Like I just sit at home and break down players and study players. So like we kind of gave him this little bit of juice in his ass. Like, wait a minute, maybe I could actually like kind of have a reason to do this. So yeah, he like took it and ran. So Dom's been just doing this. Like when you were like playing video games or whatever you were doing for fun, Dom was just fucking sitting there with his little glasses on and a little table lamp at night studying players, you know?
I love it. I'm like envisioning Dom doing that like at all ages of his life now.
Yeah.
And it just makes me smile. I want to pivot a little bit on this same super chat and just kind of see, is there a bridge quarterback that you like with this type of, if this is how the draft shook out in the first 2 picks, or how would you want quarterback addressed if it's clearly not in the first round with a quarterback? Is it a bridge? Is it a second round guy? Is there a trade somewhere out there? Bean, I'll throw it to you first, then we'll go to Matt.
All right. Let me just tell you, I am in a discussion about Mo Lewis in the chat, so admittedly, I am distracted. What did you just say?
If this
I heard the whole beginning. Same thing with the same super chat.
If this is how the first 2 picks went, it means the Jets have a different plan at quarterback. What would your plan be based on seeing these 2 picks? It's a little reverse engineered.
Yeah.
Like if we weren't going quarterback at first, what's the thought process you would hopefully tandem with this?
Hold on. I'm putting JV free in timeouts. By the way, I banned JV free on my channel. I'm just gonna keep putting you in timeouts because I no longer like you.
Oh jeez. How'd you piss
he's
Green
just,
off?
he's like, he's just and nothing really bad. He's just a douche. Like he's just constantly
I like it. I'm for it.
He's just constantly negative, and it's just like, I don't know, like it was fine for a little while, and for a couple weeks I fucked with him, but it's nonstop. And like Mo Green, or Mo, is that his name? Mo Green? What the fuck's the guy's name? Modine. Like he's such a douchebag, but it's like you're good with it because he just is. Like JV Free, it's different. He's not as good at it. Like he's just dumb. And I'm just tired of it. So I'm just going to do that all night with you. Like, I'm going to play that game, JB Free. The more you hang out and post, the more timeouts you'll be in. I'm going to do that. Anyway, so if we do this, we have to do a bridge quarterback. Now, is that somebody slides to the second round and you, like, hey, how about this? Like, Dom has a crush. Not to keep, waxing poetic on Dom's C tonight.
He wants Tanner McKee.
No, well, but draft-wise, he's all about the kid from Duke. Like, that's his little love affair. What's his name again? Mensa. I want to say Mensa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, let's say we do that. Like, the Jets are like, hey, man, we actually like this kid. This is the kid for us, and he's going to be safe for us to get in the second round. Mm-hmm. And they do that. So like that's one option. But let's say we don't, and we're gonna do an NFL guy, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not so on board with the McKee thing. I don't want to do this thing that we're believing that this guy can be like what we did this year with Justin Fields, like a swing on a guy that's probably not gonna be good, but there's the possibility of if we're gonna do this. Just fucking get a guy that we know can play average football, like a Minshew. Like, honestly, if Tyrod Taylor is playing like this the rest of the season, 200 to 250 a game, couple touchdowns, and he's just that, gives you a chance to win, do that if you're going to, you know what I mean? But no matter how you slice it, I'm not too excited about it. Now, let's say Tanner or Darren Muji can figure something. You know what? I'll leave it there because I'm going to start eating up all the potential ideas for Matt. So Anyway,
Matt, what's your thoughts,
Yeah.
Matt?
I'm sorry, on specifically just the quarterback for this year, what my preference
Yeah, well,
would
let's say the draft was going to go defense up top, wide receiver with the second first round pick. In your mind, what would make this type of draft like, I guess, make sense with the quarterback? Like, what are you pairing it with a veteran option? Is it a second round guy? Is it a trade? Is it like what's the quarterback route with this particular map?
I think it'd be a veteran stopgap, like a Jameis Winston or Gardner Minshew, or I don't know how I feel about trading for Mac Jones. I know he's played well in San Francisco. I don't know how much of that is Kyle Shanahan and how much of that is him just, rebounding and becoming a better quarterback. I mean, he could. Darnold did a lot better after going, playing with Kyle Shanahan for a year. So it's absolutely possible. But you'd have to give up the draft capital for it. I think you're probably just better off signing someone, and I would kind of dip my toe into the Jameis Winston, Gardner Minshew caliber, Jacoby Brissett. Oh, no, Jacoby Brissett signed a 2-year deal, so he's not going to
So
be
did
a free
Jameis. Jameis is 2 years also.
Is he? He's not a free agent after this year?
No, Giants signed him for 2 years. Russell Wilson's on a 1-year deal.
No, I don't want Russ. I don't want Russ. I guess Gardner Minshew then.
Yeah, I wind up landing on Minshew a lot in free agency. I like what Bean said about Tyrod Taylor, but I think I would have Tyrod as like an additional player. Like if it was Tyrod plus a Minshew, and then you want to go in and find someone in the draft, whether it's, if you don't think you can get your guy at the very top, or you don't feel like it's worth trading up for Mendoza or one of the guys at the top. I like what Bean was just talking about with the second round pick quarterback, because I think a second round pick gives you that flexibility to then make the selection in 2027 if you wanted to, and you're not like committing so much, whether it be salary cap wise or draft pick wise, towards that quarterback. But it still gives you a good enough swing. I like Matier. Mensa would be cool. In some degree. I haven't really watched Mayava yet from USC. I know Nussmeier's probably going to be talked about at some point. I'm sure we'll see some guys elevate, but yeah, I'm totally fine with going that route. I'm not like totally dead set on going after Mendoza. I think he is the best of the bunch by a pretty wide margin. But we can get into the different trades and whatnot. But interesting all the way around.
It would be great if
I don't know what
do,
what did JV free super chat that you retracted because you deleted him.
Oh, I don't care. It's look at it. It's stupid. It's like even
I
that.
can't see it.
Take your $2 back. How about this, JB Free? I'm gonna take that $2, roll it into a real tight little like tube, and tuck it right in your fucking butthole. It was stupid. I don't know. Let me look at it. I forgot that he did his super chat, but fuck
It's all
him.
good. PS comes in, says, regarding quarterback, who do you think they could use same formula in trading for Phillips, Briggs, Brownlee, and get a quarterback to develop off another roster? McKee. Yeah, McKee's the one that I think I would gravitate towards. To a lesser extent, maybe Joe Milton would be another one if you could find a way to get him from Dallas. I would be open to either one of those with like a second round pick quarterback, or even a fourth round pick. Like if you want to take a swing at Outlaw in the mid rounds, if that was something that tickled your pickle, I'd sort of be, I guess, all right with that. Is there any other quarterback trade wise? Matt had mentioned Mac Jones. I share the same concern, Matt, as you, that it's a Shanahan thing and not so much a Mac Jones thing. I'm also less inclined to think they're going to trade him with how Purdy's been playing recently. What, 3 interceptions last night?
He hasn't looked great this year. I think honestly, I think Mac Jones has looked better this year than Brock Purdy has. So I would agree with you. I think they would need to keep him.
So I don't know. I don't know who else would be. I think McKee is the answer there. P.S. Jason comes in and says, which non-quarterback position should be the primary target in the draft? Congratulations, Matt, and welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Primary target, non-quarterback. Wide receiver is definitely like the blinking red light for me. But I think there's a few other positions you could target. I think an edge or a linebacker is definitely going to be a need. A safety you could throw in there. Like there's a few different areas of need. But the big one for me is receiver and then edge rusher, because I don't know what's going to happen with JJ long term or Will McDonald long term. So those would be my two I kind of lean towards. Bean, what other position do you kind of gravitate towards in the draft as a big need outside of quarterback?
Let me think about this. Maybe linebacker. Maybe middle linebacker. I could really go for, like, when we talk wide receiver, I want to let everybody know what I want too. I want big, strong, possession type wide receiver. So in the Beanbaggers, what we did, we meet on every other Wednesday night, and we've been watching some classic games again. So we did that years ago, and we watched the last week. We watched the only win of the 1996 season when we were 1-15. It's such a great poll, man. Like it's Frank Reich at quarterback. But like you look at the team, it's Jeff Graham, who was an underrated wide receiver, Wayne Corbett, Keyshawn Johnson, Adrian Morrell. Like we really were stacked. Like, and so Keyshawn Johnson, he stands out, dude. And this was an era when wide receivers got positively demolished going over the middle, right? There was no targeting. There was no head, defenseless receiver. Like, right? None of it existed. Keyshawn Johnson and Corbett for that matter, but just Keyshawn was the bigger. He caught everything. Like if it was in his vicinity, he caught it, and he took some of the wickedest hits. He would get like flipped over, but if it made it to his hands, it was as if he was there was a magnet. And just watching him do that, it's like, fuck, man. Like if we had that guy, like on third down, both Corbett and Keyshawn, if we had that guy, like you just know, 99.9%, throw it to him, you have a first. We missed that. And Garrett Wilson, who I love, I think it's going to be really great to take some of the pressure off of what we expect from him, and which would also extend into that being the focus of the defense, you know? So that's what I'm looking for with wide receiver. I really want that 6'2 plus. I'd love a 6'4. 6'5". There was somebody I was looking at, 6'5" possession type. Now, if
Nick Harbor.
there was a guy I was watching. Did you see George fucking Pickens in the Dallas game?
Dude, he's so
high
good.
point.
I thought he was the best receiver coming out that year.
Right? Remember? Do you remember what the rub is?
It was
his
attitude
the rub
in the
was
ACL,
the injuries.
Yeah.
Right. So he was my favorite wide receiver in that class. So, like, remember my draft at the time, I was Thibodeau, Kyle Hamilton, Breece Hall, George Pickens as my wide receiver in the second, you know? But, like, watching him come back to the ball, watching him go up for it is one of those things that it's like, I want that guy. Like, I want the guy that when the ball goes up, you have to as a defender, you have to overcome his firm belief that that ball is his fucking right. You know what I mean? No, it's thrown to me, not you. And like he acts like that. Then when it's in his hand, it's a whole other obstacle of, dude, I don't just go down because you feel like I'm supposed to go down. Like, you better bring me to. So anyway, I would love the Jets to find that guy. The good news with those guys is a lot of the time, they're not the guy that's being taken in the top half of the first. They are the guys, like A.J. Brown was that. He's got a lot more to his game, but like he was that. Like he made it to I believe he was a second round pick.
Yeah,
right?
DK
He was like the
Metcalf,
second. DJ Metcalf. Debo was but he's a different wide receiver. But yeah, so those guys can slide into that sweet spot we talk about. That last couple picks of the first, McConkey was there. To that first couple picks of the second round. So anyway, that's what I'm really looking at. But man, I'm linebacker safety this year, dude. Like I really want offense. Like I really do. But if Mitchell and Metchie and Smith can show you that we have the back end of our wide receiver room solid, dude, get that wide receiver, get me a demon safety and a demon linebacker, and then maybe a tight end too. I mean, dude, I don't know,
Feeling good.
man. I think that would really turn me on a little bit. I might wear sexy clothes to the draft.
Draft party's gonna be wild.
Yeah,
O'Leary,
boy.
what about you? Any other non-quarterback position that's standing out to you?
Yeah, it's wide receiver, and I'm going to go back to him. I brought him up earlier, in Jordan Tyson, and he fits the bill that Green Bean was describing. He's 6'2". He's not quite the 6'4", 6'5" guy, but he has 10 contested catches in 14 games.
Who's this, Matt?
Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. 10 contested catches on 15 contested targets, so that's 66.7% of his catch rate on those, which is, usually those are 50-50 balls. Drake London's another good example of a player like that, who is also the Garrett Wilson draft. And Pickens was the same year, right? In 2022?
Yep.
I couldn't remember if it was
him and
22 or
Jameson
21
Williams
for
both
George
tore their
Pickens.
ACLs, and they were
Yes,
both would have been top end guys. I mean, Williams ended up being, but
No, exactly. But for me, that's Jordan Tyson. Denzel Boston's another bigger receiver. He's 6'4". And he's probably projected to be more the back end of the middle to back end of the first round. So that if you're going that route with the second pick, I would say that's probably more likely. I don't think Jordan Tyson gets there, but they're going to have options for sure. But to me, it's definitely wide receiver.
The Gag says, I think we should get a young veteran quarterback. Historically, we never draft quarterbacks well, save for O'Brien and Chad. Yeah, we got to break this this mold. I shouldn't say this mold. We got to break the habit. Not even a habit. I want to get the young quarterback, and I want it to be like Chad, where it's our guy. Like, we're not taking scraps from somewhere else. We're not taking like a journeyman. Like, I really would like it to be our guy. So as much as I understand what the Gag's saying here, I want to try and,
Yeah, but to that point though, you got to look at what we've done. Like, we did not prioritize the landing spot. Remember Robert Saleh's call to Zach Wilson, right? Don't worry. We're not asking you to save us. We're going to take care of you, right? Remember what Joe Douglas said about, he talked to Sam Darnold's mother and he said, look, I'm going to protect your kid. And he did, and they didn't. They didn't do any of that. It's all about when the guy gets here, like Mark Sanchez, who Pete Carroll, as his college coach, said he's not ready to come out. Remember that? It was like it was a big story because it's rare for a college coach to say that about their quarterback choosing. He wanted him to stay in school. He thought one more year, and it was a big deal. But the Jets took him anyway, but they had an infrastructure here. Dan Henning, I believe, maybe it wasn't, there was a vet quarterback coach and Brian Schottenheimer that we had here. And then they got him a vet quarterback in Brunell. So they had this infrastructure around him to like constantly be coached. And Sanchez, in my opinion, he was better than maybe he should have been, especially that first year, and he could play ball, dude. Like, he was sloppy and he threw picks, but he was really able to play, and that's because of the attention. Remember, they had fucking Joe Girardi come in and teach him how to slide, and then they had the wrist thing, but they were constantly working on it.
Yeah,
right. And then, like with Sam, we didn't even give him a quarterback coach or an offensive coordinator with Gase. Nope. And with Zach, look, Knapp dying killed us, right? But they never really fixed it. Like, Calabrese was the quarterback coach the entirety of Robert Saleh's tenure. Like, you don't see an issue, brother. You don't see it.
He's the offensive coordinator at Wagner 3 years before that.
Fuck.
On Staten Island.
Oh, geez. It's like, so the Jets, we've made like cyclical mistakes, like it's just patterns. One of them is we do not prioritize the quarterback. It's almost as if when we get them, the job's over. Like we talked about it just last week. Mike McCagnon drafted Sam Darnold, and then for the post first round interview said, we got our guy. My job is to build around him the rest of the draft. The next pick, which was the third round, was a small school defensive tackle, fucking Tulane. A defensive tackle from Tulane. right? His ceiling was second round, second string. His ceiling was depth. You know what I mean? Then in the 5th round, he took another defensive tackle. They gave Sam Darnold a 4th round tight end and a fucking 6th round running back in that draft. That's what they gave him. That's building around the quarterback. So anyway, if we do that, just like you're saying, Ryan, best case, we get our guy. Where's our guy? I want our guy, but when he gets here, all guns a-blazing. What does this kid need? Does he need pedicures? What does he need? Everything from pedicures to ice baths to fucking coaching in the living room. I would have a coach that lives with him. You know what I mean? Like, whatever he needs.
Well, you know what you would like? I know both you guys are not huge hockey guys, but what they do in the NHL when these teams draft these 18-year-olds kids that are going to come and play in the league right away, they always live with some veteran on the team. So like right now, the Islanders have this young stud, Matthew Schaefer, and he's living with Matt Martin, who just retired, but was like a long time Islander. So they always give these kids, or like I think Macklin Celebrini lived with Joe Thornton, and there's been some other examples of it too. But they just staple them to the hip, and they're like, "Here, learn from this guy for the next like 3 years, and then you can live on your own after."
I love
that. I mean, that's essentially what the Jets did up in Cortland with Rex Ryan in training camp. All the guys lived in the dorms, and it was like, all right, you're gonna have a roommate in 6 weeks. You got you're living with the dude.
Yeah, but I like that. You can't live in your own house for
you're
3
not ready.
years.
No, you're not ready yet. You're too young.
That's great.
I like that.
I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Hell yeah.
Michael comes in with a super chat. Thank you so much. And then Dante, you're coming up next. Don't worry. Stevens is a solid tackler. What about moving him to strong safety? Stiggers and AZ outside. Then we can sign a vet safety to push more and can draft a linebacker and edge early. Extend Hall / tag him. AVT, draft a guard in the 2nd. I think Stevens has been playing really well at corner. I don't think you necessarily have to move him to safety right now. I think him and AZ on the outside is totally fine. I think Stiggers for depth is good. I don't know if I'd play too much with it. And as far as like, I honestly, I don't know which safeties are available in free agency this offseason, so I'll have to take a look at that. I like drafting a linebacker and edge early, like top of our 4 picks. I don't mind using 2 of them on those positions, or like a pick that might wind up hitting, maybe 2 of those. Hall, I think, should absolutely, at the bare minimum, I think you tag Hall, and then you have the conversation of like, hey, we want to sign you long term. You want to know we have an answer at quarterback. Let's address the contract after the draft and before training camp. And if you still don't feel comfortable with whatever our quarterback situation is, you play on the tag for a year. We'll try to get that guy, and we'll try to have this conversation again. I don't think you can let him leave. AVT, it would have to be such an incentive-laden deal, and it would probably have to be a really high incentive price that could be a high cap hit for him to want to stay here, because if it were me, I would be going to any other team that like I could win a Super Bowl with or have like really good success with to have my prove it year. So it can't just be like a cheap prove it deal for AVT. And I also don't want to have to solely rely on him coming back. Like you got to have a really strong backup to him, because just like we saw with Becton, we wind up flip-flopping trying to hope that he's going to be the tackle of the future. And then you let George Fant go, you let Morgan Moses go, and you wind up never really finding that tackle for a long time. So that's my issue with AVT. I do like drafting a guard. I don't know if it necessarily has to be in the 2nd round, but I'm open to it for sure. I like bringing back Myers a lot. I like bringing back Simpson. I understand probably not bringing back all 3 of those guys, but I think if you can get 2 of them back, Myers, and 1 of AVT or Simpson, I think you're in a pretty decent spot. Matt, your thoughts on Michael's super chat here?
Yeah, I know this might sound crazy after, they signed him in free agency and we were all kind of down on him, and then after how he started the year, but I think Brandon Stevens has settled in and been decent for them at corner. I wouldn't mess with it, what they have right now. I kind of like the idea of seeing if it works next year with Stevens, AZ Thomas, and Jarvis Brownlee, and then if it doesn't, kind of adjust from there. As far as the rest of it goes, I'm good with extending Hall. I think if you give him, 3 for $10 million a year, or 2 for $11 to $12 million a year, whatever it has to be, right? I think it's worthwhile to get that done, especially if you're going to have a young quarterback next year. AVT, I like the point that you brought up with you're going to have the injury thing hanging over your head. In theory, when he's healthy, he could be the Jets' best offensive lineman, but it's that what if. And it really sucks because I like the player a lot. I spent most of that 2021 offseason talking about how I wanted the Jets to draft him. They do it, was very excited about it, and he's been really good when he's played, but unfortunately, he's had 3 season-ending injuries already in his young career. So I just don't feel comfortable betting on that. You know, let another team bet on that on a 1-year deal. I don't think the Jets could afford it.
Green Bean, what about you? What do you think about Michael's comment here? Stevens maybe moving to safety, and then what do you think about Hall and AVT?
Well, I think Stevens is playing well. I honest to God, I would like. I know Brees positively steamrolled Kyle Hamilton, which is one of the things that I go like. It's like I know people cheer for touchdowns and fumbles, but like that, I go like it does something to my soul. Like when you're running back and somebody gets in there to attack, you just go poof, and you can feel it. And he goes backwards and just like, ow, and he's got to lay
It's
there
that hit
and
stick
ride
you feel in like the old PlayStation Madden or like, you know,
Yeah,
Xbox. Whack.
Yeah. Like, so that, like, to me, that's the stuff. So, like, but wouldn't you rather than, like, so Michael, rather than like, hey, let's move Brandon Stevens to the safety and see if he can play a position that he hasn't really played in a while or whatever, and let's get a cornerback. Wouldn't you rather get like a guy because we haven't in a long time who's like a premier level safety who can be like a single high threat to catch the ball, like grading coverage, or, you know, a strong safety that's coming up and he's like ferocious rather than just a sure tackler, which Stevens is. Somebody who's like a Victor Green or even Jamal Adams in his first couple years with us. Make no mistake, I wasn't a huge Jamal guy. I liked him fine when he was our guy, of course, but I didn't want to draft him, and his act got tired really fast with me. Mm-hmm. But make no mistake, those first couple years, bro, he could drop the fucking hammer. And I like so isn't that a better idea? Let's put some resources into having a couple safeties that's what they do. Like that's their profession. I would rather that. And then like, look, if it's Malachi Moore, who's like, if he can rise into that and become that, great. But if not, having that kind of younger guy, you know, that's a little bit lower pedigree developing and he's solid depth, because depth is one of those things where a lot of teams like the Jets, when one guy goes down, everything, like look at Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, when Aaron Rodgers went down in 2023, literally 4 games into game 1, the Jets folded the season. Mm-hmm. Like we had nothing ready, you know? And then you can see like when AVT would go down, we're like in 2 weeks, we're literally pulling guys from practice squads. Like where the fuck's the depth? So having guys that are like, if they can come in and actually play, that's what the Eagles are. And that's why they're so fucking great. Like it's next man up is actually quality. And so I would like to see that. You know, you're not going to be able to do it all in 1 year, but like if this draft, if we're able to get quarterback, wide receiver 2, middle linebacker, safety with our top 4 premiums, like, dude, I'm gonna be running around naked in the fucking woods, you know? So I would rather do that. Like, I don't know. I like Stevens. How are we feeling? Are we out on Stevens? I mean, I think
I like him.
He's settled in, man.
Yeah, I was very negative on him to start, and he is completely turned around. I'm very, very happy with where we're at right now.
So yeah, I mean, well, Ryan, I'm sorry, man, but like real quick, aren't we proving Ryan's comment earlier, everybody, that it is interesting? Our first victory, Sauce Gardner was hurt. And then the team is playing better. And it's no shot to Sauce Gardner. It's not. But sometimes when you have like kind of the focused energy in a superstar, sometimes it's better to have like kind of the committee. You know what I mean? It's like an all hands on deck rather than a superstar here and a superstar there kind of a thing. Like, we've kind of shown the last few weeks that maybe that might be the better route for us, that we just have a bunch of blue collary guys on our defense, and like the premium assets, maybe they're like on the defense, it's edge, maybe a free safety, like an Ed Reedy type of guy. But like let's put all of our resources into offense, and then just a bunch of fucking lunch pail guys in the defense, and they can be in the middle of the pack and just kind of get you through the game, you know, rather than using premium assets on some of these guys. Anyway, I know, but anyway, it's like, right? I think we've kind of shown that. Like, we're playing better without them.
I actually really like that mindset a lot. Anything that makes the quarterback on the other team think that extra second longer. So that could be like, if I know Darrelle Revis is to one side or Sauce is to one side, well, I'm just not going to look that way. I'm going to go the other direction. So that like immediately makes them think one side of the field or whatever. If you now have to wonder about all the corners, then you're kind of making them think about that one extra layer. Or you have a linebacker that spies the quarterback or something like that, like or a wrinkle that like maybe it's an edge rusher that kind of backs off a little and can fall back into coverage. Like those little wrinkles that aren't necessarily like elite things, but could get that extra half a second to allow an edge rusher to get to the quarterback or something along those lines. It's kind of similar, I guess, ish to the wide receiver, where you're saying a lot of really good receivers are being found in the second round, and some of that has to do with the changing of offenses in general, the depth of drafts and whatnot, but also like I feel like a lot of teams don't necessarily have a clear-cut number one wide receiver. Like we've got Garrett, and like you could kind of like argue it, but there's a lot of really good weapons across the board where you're not just taking one out of the game like you used to with Darrelle, if that makes sense. Matt, does that kind of make sense what I'm saying here and what Bean was sort of articulating with the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, no, I totally get that, where you're coming from, and the value of taking away someone's best player and what that can do for you. I mean, you just said it with Revis. We saw it with Revis there, and how very vital he was to those successful teams that went to the AFC Championship games.
Dante comes and says, what do you guys think of Jets sports talk? Aside from Rodgers, Asman, Hahn, and Bart, a lot of them are full of ridiculous takes. Sorry if I'm stirring, but I'm starting not to listen to any of those personalities. I can't speak for these two guys, but I can tell you I was sick of the Jets coverage when I started this YouTube channel, and I was like, I think I can talk better about our Jets. Yeah. And then I started gravitating towards the content creator sphere and listening to guys that, put a lot of energy like Dom into blogs or scouting reports and stuff like that, as opposed to just the TV personalities that are just trying to stir the pot and get things like all riled up. So I completely agree with Dante here. I try to avoid ESPN and, First Take and a lot of that sort of stuff for the most part. Occasionally I'll catch like a viral clip that someone posts on Twitter or something, but for the most part, I get my takes through the guys that watch the Jets the most. And that means the most to me, I think. Matt, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, especially in today's day and age with YouTube and social media, you can find people in whatever your niche, right? Like if it's the Jets or whatever, it could be sewing, right? But maybe you find someone on TikTok who you're like, oh man, I just love the stuff that she makes. She's really talented. Like there's an avenue to find that where you don't necessarily have to go to a TV station or a radio station. And there's some that do a good job. I think, listing off, Jake and Connor Rogers and Alan Hahn and Bart and all those guys, like there's guys in the more traditional media that I think do a good job, but I kind of, I have my own opinions on guys, and I tend to consume content that not always necessarily that I have to agree with, but people whose opinions I respect and think they know what they're talking about. And at least in today's day and age with social media, there's a lot of avenues that you can go and do that.
Bean, your thoughts on the Jets sports talk world?
Well, here's what happened, everybody. Like Ryan said, that was the catalyst for me too. Like I hated the only press the Jets got for decades was negative. Like we had no control. We had there was no there was nothing else that we could do about it. So what happened is Matt O'Leary, Ryan, Tyson Roush, and some others started putting stuff out here. I joined in, and then we beat them. And so what they did was they came over to YouTube. So that's what happened. So now we got this big fucking mess. And then you got absolute maniacs like fucking Danger Zone. Now he's on the loose. So we're just, we're crazy. All kinds of shit. But you see like legitimacy coming to it, like JETX. They're exceptional, and it's specifically Jets content. I'm more likely to consume Nania. Sabo was my favorite way before JETX. Like, I forget what it was. It was
Empire?
like NY. What was it?
Was it Empire?
Remember?
Was his
No, Elite Sports New York.
Elite Sports?
Yeah. So he was doing those long form breakdowns before everybody that were Jets centric, and I love, he's my favorite, still to this day. Like when he breaks something down, I just find his delivery to be very, very digestible, So I'm more likely to consume that stuff than I am, because the guy on ESPN is talking about the Jets. Like I don't honestly, I don't even give a shit what they think. If I listen for too long, I can find gaps in their knowledge base. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, they don't know, man. They're not even including the shit that we know. So I'm just whatever. I'd say it's a waste of my time. But I think, I just can't believe that there are still new Jets podcasts coming out. Like I think there's just so many. We have to have the most in the NFL. I don't think there's anybody that has what we have.
I can't imagine. We have such a sphere of like dudes that cover the team. It's cool because like a lot of us are tight. Like positive of Matt's wedding. A bunch of us were there. No, a lot of us talk all the time. So it's a cool network of guys. We all fall in love with certain prospects, and then all of us wind up, trying to pull from each other's like lists that they really like, and it just makes it's like a open source like scouting kind of mindset. It's pretty cool.
Right. Well, we're all friends, like you said. Like there's not very much like keeping it from one another. Like if any Jets guy, like I'm just currently, I happen to be talking. You guys know Gus from the UK? Long hair Gus. He's on Twitter and everything. Like I'm chatting with him about some stuff. I'm gonna be doing Connor's show, young Connor this week. So there's a constant, like anybody asks me for anything, if I have it, like, yeah, fuck it, I'll give it to you. Like we're very, and I've never gotten anything else from, if I reach out to anybody in our content, like everybody's super cool. Like they'll give you anything. Like you have questions, like, yeah, man, so that there's no like vindictive, petty kind of stuff here, which is
there's room for everybody to eat.
Yeah.
Rising tide raises all ships is the terminology.
That was your thing, Ryan. In the very beginning, you said that.
Very beginning, it was like, hey, this is a cool thing. I think we all walk up together. Eric, we're gonna jump down to you. Thank you so much for the super chat, dude. Always appreciated AVT, but his various injuries is too risky for the long term for a long-term deal. We should add a guard maybe in the second or third round. So we don't have a third round pick currently, but it's possible we either trade back or trade up into it. The way Matt was saying it before, and I kind of echoed that, is the injuries has just been too big of an issue. And for the amount of like incentive that you'd have to put into it for him to be healthy, for him to probably want to stay here, not to mention still needing to invest a pretty decent size asset into his backup, whether that be money or draft pick or whatever, might be a little bit too much to swallow. I think I like the idea of bringing back Myers and Simpson and then drafting a kid also. I think the continuity that we have in our current offensive line is almost better than rolling the dice on a guy that hasn't been able to stay healthy for us. And I like AVT too, but it's just, I agree, too risky. And I think we've all kind of echoed this for right now. Matt, anything you want to add to Eric's super chat here?
No, I think it's a good plan, right? I would try to retain John Simpson and bring back Josh Myers and then add either a center or a guard on day 2 or 3 of the draft. I think that makes a ton of sense.
I'm big on, like, if Linderbaum tests free agency, just throw money at him. We have too much money to spend. Just throw it at him. Get the guy in here. Bean, anything you want to add on AVT at all, or you?
No, all I want to say this publicly, just because I got to own it.
Mm-hmm.
The last time Connor asked me on his show, I said yes, and I think I was sick, and I was like fighting something. And I took a nap, and I slept through it, and I still don't feel good about it. This is like a couple months back, so like,
yeah.
Anyway, I got it. Dude, if there's anybody I owe one to right now, it's Connor. Because, like, dude, I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't come, I'm gonna tell you. But it's just one of those things. I just didn't show. You know what I mean?
Just flat out no show.
Dude, I just fucking no showed his ass. And that is just like so wrong. So anyway, I hate that I did that, and I owe Connor, and I can't wait to do it. AVT, let me, Eric, let's see. Always appreciate AVT. I'm with you. Like, what's a 1-year deal for? So we can see him injured again? You're not done? You're not done?
Like, are you gonna feel
it?
after a year that you're more comfortable signing him for a longer term deal after
I'm
1
not.
year of him staying healthy?
No.
Yeah, like it's almost like the same cyclical thing.
Yeah. And like, look, I wish for the guy. He's a badass. When he's on the field, there's no questions about his ability, right? And I would wish him a career. But dude, like, enough. It's like it's been 2 or 3 season-ending injuries. And like last year, he missed 3 games, I think it was. And we look at that as like, all right, he's good. Like, I want guys that we can rely on, man. And I just think whatever you're going to have to pay him for that 1 year, because he'll be, teams are going to sign him. That's what they're going to do. So you're going to have to pay. I mean, what is it going to, $15 million? For 1 year?
I would not do
Fuck
that.
that.
I mean, incentive up to that, maybe it would have to be way lower.
Yeah. Like, and whatever it is, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, that's a great way to look at it. So he makes it through next year. Now you're ready to give him 4 years? I'm not. As he gets older, I'm just not. It's sad. It's not a personal shot. It is what it is. Like, look, I read an article this week about the Chargers and Becton, because he signed there for $15 million or 2 years, $30 million, I think it was. But they're already talking about cutting him because he's injured, he's been banged up, and the Eagles are open to bringing him back. And like, if he goes back there, like, it's just the place where he can stay healthy. Just do it. But like, yeah, man, like, he's got an injury history. The Eagles figured it out for a year, and then the Chargers bought in. He had 1 good year. The Chargers bought in, and they're paying the price. They don't have him, and it sucks. So I just don't want, like, enough. Like, we're, again, guys, factor in that we're the Jets. We have the worst turf in the NFL. Somebody else came out this week. There was another player, right? It's like MetLife's turf has been talked about more than any other stadium in the NFL.
Yep.
Dude, we watched the playoff game, 2003, when we beat the shit out of Peyton Manning, Chad versus Peyton.
Yep.
Did you guys watch that game? Dude, you got to look at the field. Dude, it is so bad. Herm Edwards, our coach, was actually running on the field and replacing, like, chunks were this big were popping up. Like, it was all hands on deck. Like, our head coach is working on the field during the game. Dude, chunks were coming up. They did, like, the guy on the field, the MetLife, or I think it was Giant Stadium, the Giant Stadium turf, blah, blah, blah. They did a whole, like, thing about it. It was the worst. It looked like a fucking polo match was played with the horses and the hammer ball thing. That's what it looked like.
Looks like
that
my
was when
golf
we were
game.
doing the trays. Remember the tray system that we had?
Yep. Yeah, you could.
But
swap
anyway,
them in.
so like, dude, it's like our field is so bad. You can't bring injury prone guys here, dude. It just doesn't work. It doesn't help. So just end the AVT thing. Get a young buck in here. Overpay Linderbaum. I don't give a shit. Bring him in here. Get him in here. Keep Tippmann at guard and draft in the 4th round another guard to play, whatever, behind Simpson if you reach. I don't care. But like, just that the AVT experiment's over from my vantage point. That's what I would say.
Blitz Crew says, won't be popular. Okay with Malik Willis for 1 year. Nope. Not popular. Sorry. Matt, your thoughts on Willis?
Didn't we just try this with Justin Fields? Would be my answer on that. They're similar kind of players, right? Where they have major questions about them as a passer. You're taking a gamble. At least he went with Matt LaFleur, right? The last couple years in Green Bay, and he had a couple nice spot starts. But does it work away from there? I have questions. Maybe, but I have my questions.
Bean, Malik Willis.
As much as I would love to see, hey, Wyatt, you guys know Wyatt, our recipient, Wayward Jets fan. He's actually just got accepted. So he's done with the Marines, and he just got accepted to the university that Malik Willis came out of, Liberty University, which is an hour from me. So, like, as much as I would love to see Liberty and the whole thing, and, you know, I have a little bit of hometown shit going on, nope. Don't like him.
Hennessy comes in.
I'd
Says Mendoza.
rather, what's the guy named Joe Milton? I'd rather him.
Yeah, well, he's got a howitzer for an arm, too.
Yeah.
Super fun to watch. I'd be down with that. Way over Malik Willis. Heisman Hennessy comes in, says Mendoza, Moore, and Simpson for the next 5 months. I'm really hoping Moore comes out. If Moore comes out, I'm going to be feeling a lot better with wherever the Jets are sitting. Yeah, people are going to be bitching and complaining about trade up versus not trade up. The big thing, and I'll let me pull it up here. Let me see. Do I have it? Pause for 1 second. All right. So the draft order as it stands right now. So talking about the quarterbacks, the biggest thing for us, the Saints play the Titans. That's probably the only game that I could see the Titans win. If the Titans beat the Saints, they're falling behind the Raiders in strength of schedule. They're dropping all the way down to the 5th pick, and everyone else shifts up. Or actually, I guess it would be the 4th pick. Or no, it would be the 5th pick. And then once the Jets and Giants and all these teams have the same amount of losses, the Giants are going to fall down behind us as well. And then, obviously, the Jets play the Saints. We play the Saints prior to the Saints playing the Titans. So depending on what happens with the Jets over these next 2-3 weeks with the Falcons, I think it's, Falcons, Dolphins, Saints, I think is the next three games. Depending on if we win a game or 2 games or whatever, we're going to want the Saints to beat the Titans. We're going to want the Titans up at the top in the event you're in the trade-up crowd. But those 2 games, if the Jets wind up managing to lose out and the Titans capture that win, the Jets have the first pick. That's the pathway to number 1 if you want it. But Mendoza, Moore, Simpson over the next 5 months, I think a lot of it's going to be decided over the first college football playoffs. All 3 of these guys are going to be in the playoffs, seemingly, barring something crazy happening in the next week or so. I am very much going to be keeping an eye on all these quarterbacks, along with Mateer. I think, are those the only guys that we're looking at quarterback-wise, aside from like the 2027 cast, like saying? I think those are all the main dogs.
But they're talking about...
I put a lot more weight on the playoffs than what we've currently seen so far out of the season.
Yeah. Well, I saw something yesterday where like Moore is like a 95% going back to school.
That's what I've heard too, yeah.
And Simpson now is like a 50-50 deal that he's going to go back. So what's going to happen? This is what happens in these years. Mendoza is he's supposed to be there. When there's a vacuum, there still needs to be quarterbacks. So what happens is the next tier of guys get elevated postseason, and they start becoming these first round conversations. Now, it's not guaranteed, but I've seen it happen where guys that really shouldn't be in the conversation are now in it, and it's a trap. And I just don't want to see the Jets get sucked into that. You know what I mean?
It's almost like Penix, Bo Nix, and McCarthy were all kind of that year. Like, they were all seen as like end of the first, beginning of the second type guys, and all of them went top 10. So definitely, or top 12. I think Nix was 12 maybe. I agree. If Simpson goes back and more seemingly is going back. It sounds like Sellers is going to go back. I think Mateer could probably go back as well. You might be in a situation where you're just like, hey, we're going to take Mendoza if he's there, or maybe you like him enough to go up and get him. Or you're waiting till 2027 anyway, and we have all the picks. So, it's going to be an interesting conversation. We may not even have these three to like, argue about. It might just be Mendoza or punt at the top end here. JJ says, we better draft a quarterback. Field still sucks in case you missed me telling you. Thank you, JJ. Yeah, I'd like to find a way to get a quarterback. Like in the perfect world, I do like Mendoza. I like Mendoza enough to make a small jump up to get him. I like him enough if he's there with us to take him. The best things we can kind of hope for is hope Shuck performs really well, and then some of the other teams that are looking for quarterback kind of fall far enough back, because then maybe there's a situation where no one's really willing to trade up for Mendoza, and the Titans aren't willing to fall that far back. Then you might get lucky and just have them fall to you. But I'm not going to force the quarterback. I think that is the luxury that the Jets have found themselves in with the trades they made of Sauce and Quinnen. You're allowed to kind of sit back and make the correct decision as opposed to pressing. Kind of like after you traded Sam, you're sort of like you're taking a quarterback at that point. We're in a nice kind of flux where it's more so maybe irritating for a year that you have to wait, but you can make the move in 27. Matt, any thoughts on the quarterback, especially off what we were just talking about with Moore and Simpson potentially going back?
I would prefer to do it this year, but like you said, you don't force it. If it's only Mendoza and it's like, hey, you can trade up to number 1, but you got to give up both first rounders this year and a first rounder next year and something else. And you're like, well, shit, like that's a lot. I don't know if I really want to do that. Then you might just have to eat it for a year. But, there was a mock draft that Matt Miller did in a trade up with the Jets going up to number 1. And it was
2 firsts and a second next year.
Yeah, it was a first and a second. And that's a little bit more appealing to me because you still have the 2 second-round picks this year. So you get your quarterback in the first round, 2 seconds this year, no second next year, but with 3 1s, you could kind of move around in the first round next year and recoup a lot of that value. So that one's appealing to me. But, if it's costing you first-round picks into next year, that doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, that I've been saying the 2 firsts and the second is my kind of like arbitrary ceiling. I don't know how far back you can go where that's still an acceptable trade, but like let's say the Jets are picking 5 or 6 or something like that. That would be a price I'd be willing to pay if they like Mendoza enough to do it. JJ also says Makai Lemon. I don't know if I pronounced that right. The receiver from USC, I believe, right? Is that
yes?
5'11", has 78 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
He's good.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I'll go through and start ranking my receivers probably after the playoffs, just so I have like a full thing on them. But receivers definitely going to be high up on the list. JJ says, I want Gunnar Stockton. Talking about the quarterback.
Is he even going to come out this year?
Is quarterback from Georgia?
Yeah, I think he can come out, but
he's a junior.
Always assumed he was a 2027 guy, but I could be wrong.
He's only played in 12 games so far. He's 10-1 this season. He played 1 game last year. 71% completion percentage this year. Has 19 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Has 156 quarterback rating. Also has 8 touchdowns on the ground with 361 yards rushing. So he's got a total of 27 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. I don't know if there's any fumbles also thrown in there, but man, if he's coming out next year, if these guys go back to school, like 27 is probably the year to look for quarterback. Like you might be more comfortable sitting and picking. Like if Mendoza's there and he falls to you, fine. But then you're talking next year a class of potentially Simpson, Moore, Sellers, Mateer. I guess Mayava, I think he can go back 1 more year. Is that right? And then you've got like Arch Manning. You got Julian Sayin from Ohio State. Like that is a loaded class next year. Then
It is until it isn't, right? Like
that's
going
true.
into this year, Nussmeier and Klubnik were spoken about pretty highly, and they kind of both shit down their legs. So
Alar, same sort of thing. Like all those
the
guys.
injury, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
it happens sometimes. You don't know. That's the risk that you run. It can on paper, yeah, it can be a better class next year, but we don't know that for certain.
Yeah, I don't think I would pass on Mendoza for like whatever happens in 27. Because with enough quarterbacks coming out next year, if you like Mendoza, like if he's your slightly more athletic Jared Goff or whatever, I'm taking Mendoza all day, and I'm going to utilize my 3 firsts next year on the players that are falling further because of all the quarterbacks that are going earlier. I would have no issues with that. But if you don't get Mendoza, then maybe you feel like you can wait much later into the draft, or you just kind of punt on the quarterback position for a year. That's okay too. Lots of ways to skin a cat. Mr. Chill says, I wonder if the guy who backs up Jalen in Philly could be worth a look. I'm so nervous about picking a quarterback because they never develop here. He's talking about Tanner McKee. I like Tanner McKee a lot. I was hoping at the deadline that the Jets would find some way to like eat all of Justin Fields' contract and trade him and some sort of mid-round pick to Philly to get McKee for the back half of this season, because I thought that would be a really, really valuable 6 or 7 or 8 game sample size that we could have had from him. If you are in a position where maybe you don't feel like trading up and you want to swing a mid-round pick for him, I'm all about it. I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. So I would say it would be even better if you can get him on like, hey, we'll trade for you and we're going to sign you to a 3-year deal, and it's going to be incentive laden. If you're the starter, you're going to get paid a higher starting salary. If we want to make a decision on a quarterback either in 26 or 27 in the draft, if we like one, then you have your backup to the quarterback / initial starter. I'm on board. I like McKee enough to do
Why
that.
do we like this guy so much?
Did you watch him coming out of Stanford at all? He was super smart. He's tall. He's not
big.
I do like McKee. I think he's worth a mid-round swing. The same thing with Joe Milton too. Like I would take a swing on Milton. Milton's got I think 2 years left on his deal after the season. Dallas just traded for him this last offseason, so I don't know if I see them moving him at all. But those are 2 guys that pique my interest more than like Mac Jones or more than Gardner Minshew. Minshew's nice because it's like he's a free agent, but I feel like his ceiling has kind of sort of been hit at this stage.
Yeah, it's been established. You know where it is.
Yeah, like McKee and Milton to me still have the what if potential of going higher, even though it's a longer shot because the pedigree may not be there.
Wouldn't those guys have to be developed though? In theory, like McKee has one start in his NFL career,
but he's got 3 years of sitting behind a starter and working at the NFL level. Like I think there is some value in that. Like almost. It's kind of similar to like us trading for Briggs or us trading for Brownlee. Like you've seen some degree of NFL work, whether it be through the preseason or through like minimal starts or even reps they've gotten on the field. And then you probably combine that with the college tape. And it's absolutely a risk, but maybe that's better than taking a swing in the second round on Mayava or Nussmeier or something, because you'd rather use that second round asset on a linebacker or safety that's going to be more of an impact player potentially long-term than a guy that maybe he works out and we're going quarterback in 27 anyway. Like if that's sort of the calculus that they're working through. Like maybe it's trading, our second and maybe we get a pick back or something like that. Like I'm open to different ideas on it. I wish we had a third. I'd feel more, I don't want to give up a second for any quarterback really out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to come off as disrespectful to Mr. Chili King, but I hate the logic of, well, we haven't hit on a quarterback yet, so we're just never going to do it. Like that's how you win in the NFL. All these teams that are good, for the most part, have found their quarterback through the NFL draft. Except for the outliers are Matthew
Seattle,
Stafford
Tampa.
with the Rams. And Tampa, and I was going to throw in the Lions and Jared Goff, but pretty
Seattle,
much every
maybe,
other
with Sam.
Well, Seattle, right, Sam.
Okay. So that's 4 out
But
of
it
32.
happens. Yeah, but your point is strong.
Yeah.
Right. So most quarterback, not all, but most of the top guys in the league are players that were drafted in the first round by their respected franchise. And Washington for years, they couldn't figure out quarterback. They hit on Jaden Daniels second overall. Chicago has never had a 4,000-yard passer in the history of that ancient franchise, and they're 8-3, and Caleb Williams is playing pretty good ball in year 2. Keep swinging until you try, until you get it. You just got to keep swinging until you hit that home run.
Now, I'm going to take Mr. Chill's kind of comment and swing it into what we were just talking about. Like, if Mendoza is kind of the only guy you're feeling comfortable with, and a lot of these guys go back to school, that's the lens I kind of operated through looking at his super chat. Like, if we're not getting Mendoza and the option is the field, being what would you sort of feel out for quarterback? Doesn't necessarily have to be McKee, but like, is there, is it just Minshew and just punt for a year, or like, is there someone that might pique your interest somewhere along the lines?
I don't know. It's tough. Like, it sucks to be put into that position, right? Like, but it's looking like that, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe this idea, like, again, just as an example, the kid from Duke, you get him a little bit later and you're kind of going to go that route. Like, again, I bring up a couple times recently, Matt Flynn in Seattle, and then they drafted Russell Wilson in the 3rd, and he just was lights out, so it can happen. But it's like, I really would just love to just get the guy. Like, if they want him, I would just love them to get him. If we're at pick 3 and we got to trade up, or, if the Titans beat the Saints and the Saints beat us, like, all right, now we're talking, you know what I mean? Like, if we could just organically find our way into that spot, it'd be so much fun for me and everybody. I just know it. But, like, I don't know, man. I think I'd rather, like, I think my quarterback room next year would probably be something like one of those guys we're talking about. I don't see Dallas getting rid of Milton, like you brought up. They just traded for him, and they like the skill set to match Dak. You know what I mean? If Dak goes down, it's a similar game. They could just come right in, and you know what I mean? So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense what they're doing down there. I don't see them for a mid-round pick, and you don't want to overpay. Now, McKee, I don't dislike him, but it's just been raising my eyebrow a little bit. There's a lot of talk about him, and I've looked and I see, he's got a, though, is very limited NFL. He's got a 66 plus completion percentage, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. All right, but you look at the team he's on. It's kind of like this Mac Jones love affair all of a sudden. It's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot to be said for the organization and the coaching and the everything they have there, and the plethora of weapons that are there. It's like, falling into an established system and like, look, all you got to do is X, Y, and Z and let the machine operate. That's a lot different than come here and help us create an offense. You know what I mean? It's a different job. So I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know if I have an answer, but I think I'd rather go, like, my quarterback room would be somebody who's young and can kind of be, one of the, like that, take a chance on, and somebody like, just as the name, a Minshew, fucking Tyrod Taylor, somebody that you just know can play NFL football, like, and just let them compete. Like, that's it, if that's what we got to do, which disappoints me, quite frankly.
Yeah, I hope we're not in this situation. I would be down with Mensa, just kind of looking at some of his, PFF stuff and where his numbers are. 67% completion percentage this year, 3,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, 4 picks, tons of passing. Like, look at how many completions: 27, 23, 30, 19, 22, 22, 20, like 32. Like, I could get on board with that. Like, obviously Duke doesn't really play like a juggernaut kind of schedule, but I don't know where he ends up shaking out as far as draft stock. If he's there in the 4th, I'm down. or if you trade down from the second, like that would be kind of cool. And then you just sort of roll with that for a year, and then maybe you address it in 27. Like I want to have some hope. I don't want to just kind of go with like Minshew and that's like it. That would leave me a little sour, I think. James says, as a random thought, what if the Jets decided to use their future capital to get done this year if they fall in love with fallers a la JJ and Hall? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to forego picks next year to like try to solve stuff for this year. I'm good with sitting back and taking best player available at positions of need. I think that's fine. The only trade up I'm really looking to do, I think, is either hopping up to 1 to get the quarterback, or maybe you could convince me going second round to first round to get the 5th year option on someone that you really like. Outside of that, which I guess is JJ and Hall is kind of what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't want to use my future capital to get it done this year. I'm out on that. Matt, your thoughts?
Hang on, I'm counting. They have 13 picks in the draft this upcoming year. I don't think they're going to take 13 guys. So it depends. Like,
it's a lot of 5 through 7, though, isn't it? Do
yeah,
we have 1 or 2 fourths, maybe?
It is. Yeah, it is. They have the 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 4th, a 5th, and then a crap ton of picks in the 6th and 7th round. So it depends on where you're talking about in the draft, right? Like, do I want to give up a 2nd and the 4 to get back into round 1? Probably not, because then you pick, okay, you have the pick in round 2, but then you don't pick again until round 5. That I don't like as much as using the day 3, not all, but some of the 8 day 3 picks that they have to trade for already established NFL players, like you kind of did with Briggs and Phillips, who's a veteran, which is fine. Like, it doesn't all have to be the guys on their rookie deals like Briggs and AD Mitchell and the John Metchies and those guys. It can be, examples in past Jets history. Santonio Holmes, Braylon Edwards, Brandon Marshall, they got for a 5th round pick. Like, contract situations matter. And, sometimes
Thomas
teams
Jones.
are like, we just can't afford to pay. Yeah. Another freaking great one. Exactly. So yeah, I think I would be using some of those day 3 picks to try to fill gaps on the roster with NFL players.
I would even eat some bad contracts. Like, if there's some like good players that teams just need to shed contracts and they're unable to like just outright cut them because of whatever reason, I'll throw some late round picks. Like, I love what Muji's been doing, like Matt said, with Briggs and Brownlee and all that. Bean, any thoughts on using future capital to try and solve our issues this offseason?
Yeah, I'm open to it, but I think it's more important that because we have 5 minutes left and we haven't mentioned Xavier Gibson fumbling. And I think it's important.
I think 1, it's hysterical that it happened. I think 2, it super pisses me off because he finds a way to fuck the Jets even when he's not on the Jets.
This is true.
So how did he fuck the Jets?
We own Dallas's 2nd round pick, and Dallas won because of his fumble. That's why. Bastard.
There you go.
Like, couldn't have lost it to any other team. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I get it. But dude, that guy catching the ball on the 2, I laughed.
Yeah, that was stupid, right? Like, why are you fielding that? 1, why are you fielding the punt at the 2-yard line? And then number 2, you fumble after that. That's the double whammy.
Yeah, I mean, he got fucking positively crushed. You know what I mean? But still, that's what he does. It was just so nice to
to watch it happen elsewhere.
Yeah, because like we're so used to like, look, we cut Braden Mann, the Eagles sign it, he goes to the fucking Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, we, Bryce Huff and what it's like all the guys. I'm so sick of it. They go and they have all this fun. And it's like Xavier Gibson, we're downright convinced this guy doesn't even belong on an NFL team. And he goes to the Eagles, the Super Bowl champs, and they're, and it's like, yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't know. I get joy out of these things. It made me so happy.
I
see.
smiled until I
laughed.
realized the ramifications. Once it clicked, then I was like, ah, shit, damn it.
Yeah.
That would work out like that.
Dallas
JJ
is playing
says,
really good.
Yeah. JJ says Moore is worse than Fields. I mean,
I don't agree.
I have a very hard time thinking that it's even possible at this particular juncture. I love McKee and Milton. I would take a stab at either this offseason. So those are kind of the two guys that I feel like have at least some upside in untapped potential. Again, it just depends on what the price tag is. Ablab drops in here with the 20 spot. Thank you, Ablab. Says,
Hell
gang,
yeah.
I hope we get a quarterback in 26. Or I hope if we get a quarterback in 26, it's if he is there and he falls to us. These dudes aren't worth trading up for. Happy Thanksgiving all. Mendoza's the only one for me that I would be willing to go up for, and they have to love him. And I would also kind of feel out where the other teams in the first round kind of are. Like if Shuck looks good enough in New Orleans, they might wait a year. You know, some of these other teams, the Browns, like they're going to have to eat a massive dead cap hit from Watson, and they might just be rolling with Sanders and Gabriel for one more season to like punt on a year with dead cap and all that sort of stuff. So like I could see them waiting on a quarterback. Like I don't think it's a given that a lot of teams at the top are going to want a quarterback. So we might kind of get lucky in that respect.
Be nice.
Matt, you think would Mendoza be worth trading up for you? Or is there another quarterback in your mind that you would be, you know?
I like Mendoza more, but I'm not out on Ty Simpson. I know he doesn't have a ton of starts, but and he's not coming off a great game, so I feel like kind of the talk has cooled off on him. But I think if you look at the majority of the games that he's played, he's had a really, really, really nice season, and does some things that excite me going to the next level. I would do the Matt Miller trade for either of those two guys, the additional first and the second round next year. But if we're talking about the multiple firsts in this year and next year, then it's a no.
I don't
Ian,
want to
what
give
about
up
you?
a first and second. So wait, where are we? You say that. So what? Where
It would be
are
the
we?
two. It would be the two this year plus the
Yeah, but
second.
from where? Where are we starting though?
Doesn't
so
matter. Like I mean, if it's
was,
three, maybe you don't have to give up as much. But let's say it's five.
It was 5 and 28, 5-28, and next year's second to get to 1.
I like it. I'm totally fine with that. I don't know if this
Yeah.
is
I ultimately pay it, but just like on, player aside, like to move from 5 to 1, like sure you get this year's first, but I'm not giving you next. I don't want to give you next year's second. Like that's just I don't know.
I don't know if you.
But
I think
ultimately, I
that's
do it.
equivalent to like a third, right? Like you have to think you give up 2 firsts and a third to get your quarterback.
Yeah,
that's the
I get
price.
it. Ultimately, I pay it. Like you got to not you can't be penny wise and dollar foolish, man. Like it's a quarterback, and it's the only quarterback, and it's the one quarterback that you like. So probably so you just do it. But I'd love to see. I mean, look, Muji's presenting himself early going as relatively shrewd. So who knows?
Yeah, he might have some better moves up his sleeve than we're projecting right now. Ablab comes in and says, "Congrats, O'Leary."
Thank you, Ablab.
O'Leary, I'm going to ask you to go over to last week's stream, get some timestamps for us while we
What's
go.
up,
through this.
Ablab? Look at you.
Danger Zone coming in. Is it true that Matt consummated in the T-shirt, the Talkin' Jets T-shirt? It's true. He actually had the Talkin' Jets
Inappropriate
pillow as
danger
well.
zone.
I think
No, I
it's a
did it in
perfectly
my
acceptable.
Dano. I did it in my Danger Zone merch, actually. So,
Even better.
I looked her in the eye and said, "Welcome to the Danger Zone." Goo. Oh, jeez.
oh God.
JJ comes in and says, Mendoza's mechanics are great. Is he tough enough? I think this is the part for me. Not that I think there's any toughness issue, but I think watching him go against the best guys in the playoffs is going to kind of give me more confidence in wanting to trade up. Like I reserve the right to change my opinion based on how these guys sort of perform. We've got Blitzcrew says, would be shocked if Ty Simpson does not come out. He is top 5 pick and not worth the injury risk. Not worth the, and I think he just means he's not injured. I don't think he's been injured, right? if he's deemed to be a top 10 pick based on the quarterback class that's seemingly coming out next year and what happened to Owlar this year, like any quarterback that's projected top 10, go to the NFL. Do not risk it. Owlar is proof positive that that is a bad decision.
Yep. It's not worth it, man.
Nope. Ron drops a 20 spot, says, Cindy and I want to wish Matt and Mrs. O'Leary the best of luck. God bless.
Thank you, Ron and Cindy. That is awesome. Much appreciated, guys. Seriously.
JV comes in and says, $2 for Matt and Ryan only. Great job, you two.
That was good. About fucking time.
I love
Finally,
JV.
a fucking
He's my
good
favorite
comment.
person.
I know, I left it.
I can't say he's my favorite person in the chat, but he's a solid, you're a solid, like, top 35 in my book, JV.
Yeah, JV free. It only takes $1. You got Ryan.
I'm a cheap date. I don't know what to tell you.
The fucking cheap date.
God.
Danger Zone says merch now has Vaseline for JV free, FYI. See, look, boom. Then you can get that $1 and shove it right up your booty.
Oh, God.
That was what context. If you guys weren't here earlier, Green Bean wanted to roll up his $2 super chat and
Stick
it where the sun don't shine.
Up his candy
Tap it. I got it. It's a tap. Tap, 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 tap.
Oh, jeez. All right, give us some qualifiers, Matt.
All right, I got a few for you, Green Bean, from last week.
Oh,
We got
I'm ready.
Gangrene 44. We got Boba Bombs, BOBA Bombs.
Yeah.
Andrew Gzonka.
There he is.
Good man.
We got our guy Sing Sing. And that was it on the timestamps.
I was trying to think of a song really quick to sing, and I couldn't think of one. Because I wanted to sing. Bump, bump. Sorry. All right. How many qualifiers we got, Green Bean?
Hold on. I'm going to ban JV free one more time.
He's going to end up winning the shirt or something.
What was the last one? Sing Sing?
Yes.
Yes. Yep, you got it.
All right. Let me do one more. Let me drop one more qualifier in here. Yeah, if he won, he would win. I would. Oh, I spelt it wrong. Oh, no, that was Danger Zone. Wiener. Fuck. I actually thought that was me for a second. Light grenade. All right, light grenade. You're the last one, so that gives us 32.
32. All right, chat. We have, 13 picks this year. Let's get numbers 1 through 32. The 13th number that comes up in our live chat will be our winner for tonight. Give us number 1 through 32 in the chat. 13th number that pops up will be our winner. Oh, 420 would have been it. 27.
27.
27 was the number. Hold on, let me just make sure. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoop, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, 13. Oh no, there's a 69 in there. Hold on, sorry, it's not 27. It's 4. 4 is
number 4.
Danger Zone threw a 69 and a 420, and neither one of those are 1 through 32. So number 4 is our winner.
Number 4 is Jason Edwards, everybody.
Oh, Jason Edwards. We like Jason Edwards. He's a good dude.
Yeah,
him and his whole family.
Right on.
Let's see what we get here. What is Jason getting? Spinny wheel. Dick
Jersey.
Burgers. Oh, he gets
that
a
was
pillow.
pretty close.
Jason Edwards. Almost got a jersey. Gets himself a pillow. Jason, reach out to us. Let us know what your shipping address is. I know we've gone back and forth a few times, so I don't know what it actually is. But jetstalk247@gmail.com or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. If you have won a pillow already, let me know, and we could swap it out for a Dick Burger shirt. But your pillow for your tears and your happiness. Reach out to us, Jason. I see you in the chat. Good man. Good man. Thank you so much for playing. Boys and girls, we've reached the end of our show. Let's go around, give our closing thoughts Bean, any last words?
I wasn't going to do it, but I'm setting up the stream right now because I'm really tired and I got to get up, blah, blah, blah. But fuck it. We're going to do an after hours Jets Fest. And I'll see you at 10:35. Let's have some fun.
Ooh, O'Leary. What you got going on?
I can't believe on Thanksgiving week we didn't do any debates on Thanksgiving food. I was just thinking about that.
Oh, wow.
Favorite side right now. Boom.
Mashed potatoes is the GOAT.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm a stuffing guy, man, and I love a good, just pure fucking big old pile of stovetop. I love it, but I really like a well-made sausage stuffing. Like that's a big one for me.
So I'm going to go right between the two of you, and I'm going to say I love dunking my stuffing in my mashed potatoes, and it's delicious.
Mixing it all together.
Those are easily my two
now
favorites.
you're talking.
They're so good. We didn't do a Bloody Knuckles, but I think either Brees or even Tittman. I think Tittman had a really nice hit this week.
This week's Bloody Knuckles.
I don't know. You guys got anyone off the top of your head?
What?
Bloody Knuckles?
For Bloody Knuckles?
Oh,
I know, I forgot.
Brees.
Yeah, I'm good with Brees.
I think it would be Brees, even with the fumble, unfortunately.
Or we could go Metchie.
Could go Metchie. Metchie was solid. No issues.
That was a
Tittman
that
did lay a
touchdown
dude out.
was
I
good.
thought Tittman had a monster hit this week. That's all right.
Yeah.
I give it to the whole team for playing tough. I appreciate them not giving up. Boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. Have a very happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Enjoy, sit back, eat some food, get that tryptophan knocking you out Thursday night. And we'll be back here 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Tuesday to talk some Jets.
Just go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the pouch. Screw green bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk done, boys and girls.
Freeze run.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Jets, Jets.